Melanie get back to work. I'll present some of the findings of the report and then take any questions. I'm Vander, Zanden, and I'm the statewide healthcare organizer with the Maine People's Alliance. The report you have in front of you, and there's copies on the front table for those of you who haven't gotten one yet, presents compelling evidence of a little discussed fact. The private insurance industry is failing. This may seem counterintuitive, given that this very report states that the industry has seen its profits increase by 428%. That's 428% between 2000 and 2007, from $2.4 billion to $12.9 billion. But the incredible profits that these companies are making are actually the most serious evidence that they are failing to provide for the greater good. For decades in the US, we have put our faith in the private insurance industry to look out for the health and well-being of our families. And for business owners, we've trusted them to look out for our employees. We've trusted this industry to do exactly what its many ads promise, to keep our families safe, our loved ones healthy, and our livelihoods intact. But instead, as this report shows, these companies have used our faith as a cover for their endless race to use more and more of our money for their own purposes. I will describe the 3 business practices detailed in this report that exemplify the private insurance industry's anti-consumer and pro-profit tradition. The first is mergers, which are often explained to the American public as providing greater efficiency and even perhaps lower premiums. In the past 13 years, more than 400 mergers involving health insurers have led to an astonishing 94% of the insurance markets in the country being highly concentrated. The problem is national. States from Alabama to Vermont face the same issues of market consolidation in the insurance industry, and the statistics for 43 other states are laid out in the report. We are not the only ones here in Maine with an insurer like Anthem who is so large that they can bully us at every turn with threats to leave the market. It is clear that it is not our state's consumer protections that have created this problem. Market consolidation is an industry-wide, country-wide practice. Small comfort to Mainers to know that millions of others like us are under the insurance industry's gigantic thumb. The most illuminating data in the report are about how insurance companies use their concentrated market power to manufacture even greater profits for themselves and their shareholders. 2 practices in particular stand out: share buybacks and handshake agreements between large providers and insurers to keep prices and premiums high. Share buybacks are when insurers reduce the number of shares that are publicly traded, raising the value of existing shareholder stakes and bolstering CEOs' arguments for higher executive compensation. Then, in so-called gentlemen's agreements, insurers rig the system by colluding with large providers, exacting promises from them to keep costs rising as long as no other health plan is charged less. Insurers then pass along the rising costs in the form of higher premiums, and only the consumer pays. This is just one explanation for the startling fact in the report that in Maine between 2000 and 2007, premiums rose 5.4 times faster than wages. If insurance companies were really doing the work of protecting the common good, they could use their tremendous power to control costs and lower premiums. Instead, they're more interested in spending their profits on lobbying our elected officials to oppose consumers' best interests. As we speak, there are 4 insurance industry lobbyists for every one of our congresspeople in DC, and I'm sure they're all hard at work. Industry invests more in rewarding its shareholders than it does in ensuring good health outcomes for people. The predictable consolidation of the private insurance market and the inevitable use of financial maneuvering to build market share and drive up profits underscore the permanent flaws in the health insurance market. These faults can only be addressed by the creation of a public health insurance plan. Only a public option can prevent private insurance industries from continuing to abuse the trust of the American public without consequence. A public health insurance plan can provide good coverage to the millions who need it, and it will prove that it is possible to cover millions of people for less when you cut out the complicated financial maneuvers and profiteering of the private insurance industry. So that's the end of my remarks, and I'd be happy to take any questions about the report.